So right after you just had this vision that you just read through, basically your eyelids slam open, gasping for air, started taking your surroundings, and basically what you see around you when you wake up, eyes darting back and forth, trying to take in what's going on. All you can really see is that you lie beneath a canopy of lush, what you could tell are tropical trees. They're swaying gently in the wind. It's an overcast night sky. And you just hear not a whole lot of noise, just kind of like the trill of crickets and other bugs and things like that. Maybe like a low hum of a nocturnal bird of some sort. You would notice, just with your passive perception, that there's the ground around you, like nearby, maybe 10 or 15 feet away, seems to have been disturbed. And you've been lying sort of in a big patch of underbrush behind a tree. So, with that being said, what would you do?
Am I alone right now?
You are alone, as far as you can see.
So sorry, give me 1 second. D&D Beyond is reloading.
You're good.
I guess I'm gonna try to gather my surroundings and see if anything looks familiar. Would that be a history check? Like, see if I can kind of gauge the area and.
Yeah, you could do either. Well, I'll let you pick either survival or history, whichever one.
Let's do history real quick. Do you need to see my screen so you can see? Like, I'm gonna use the dice on D&D Beyond. Like, do you need a?
Oh no, it'll actually. If you're gonna use the dice in D&D Beyond, it saves it to my campaign game log, so it'll just show up right there as soon as you roll it.
Okay, gotcha. So we'll do that.
Yeah, you can just take your pick which one. So I'd say either one would apply right now.
Yeah, I'll do history.
Okay.
My dice are in my car. You gotta be. Oh, never mind. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, it's still loading, but it shows that you did roll. Okay, yeah, 13. Yeah. So I would say Sans getting more detailed backstory, but I just either way, I would say it doesn't look. What? What are you talking about, Eddie? Let me guess that was out of character. All right. Anyway, yeah, no. Basically, you're looking around, and as far as I know, this would be entirely something that you've never seen before. I mean, you can recognize that essentially what your surroundings are showing you. This seems to be a tropical, almost like beach-like place. You're not on a beach, but you can kind of tell that you're coastal. You can, smell the salt in the air and like feel the humidity. But yeah, you're definitely nowhere familiar.
Sorry, I'm like typing notes as.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Guess I'm gonna start like walking to see if I can find some civilization, maybe, or like.
Okay. Cool. So I would say just make one survival roll, and then I'll play out the next little bit.
Hey, okay.
Hey, a 20. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sure. So you start walking in a general direction, and you're very, very careful and cautious, a little bit on edge after the sort of vision that you just had, being woken up into a place that, you're not familiar with, so you're kind of on edge, and as such, you're able to sort of pick out any sharp objects that might have harmed you or anything, so you're walking very carefully and quietly through this dense, sort of, not jungle, but just a little bit of forest. And I'd say maybe a minute or two in, as you've been walking, you've been able to cover quite a bit of ground. The first thing that you hear is the lapping of ocean waves on a beach. At first, it's a little distant, but as you continue in that direction, it seems to get just a little bit louder. It's not anything, crazy like a storm, just typical beach noises. and it seems to be coming from the direction that you're headed right now. Do you want to keep heading that way?
Yeah, I'm gonna cautiously keep heading that way, see what's over there.
Okay, yeah. So, don't need to roll for any more of that. You definitely are very deft about avoiding everything and making a good pace. And as you get closer, you breach the line of trees and you do see out before you, just a nice clear beach, waves lapping up along the shoreline. Again, it is the middle of the night, so you would normally see a nice reflection across the water. However, there is a pretty dense fog that lays over the water, but nothing that seems too terribly ominous. And as you're kind of poking around, you actually hear the shouting of men in the distance. I would say from the direction that you went, I would say it seems to be coming off from the right. And you can't tell an exact distance, but it doesn't sound very far off. Maybe a couple 100 feet. Sounds like it's probably along where you're at on the shoreline. It tends to bend to the right and to the left. So it looks like you're facing like a semicircle, but, larger, maybe like a mile.
Can I tell if the shouting, if it's like coming near me, or if it's just off in the distance?
For something simple like that, you do have a really good passive perception. I would say that it sounds static. It doesn't sound like the voices are getting any further away or any closer. It sounds stationary.
Okay. I'm going to very cautiously walk over, but I want to stay hidden within the trees as much as I can.
Okay. Yeah, so I would say, you're being real careful, but then as you start getting closer to the voices, go ahead and roll a stealth check. And this would be to represent how well you stick to the trees and avoid the sight of anybody. Okay, 16. Okay, yeah, so what happens? You're being very, very cautious, so the combination of, your general, ability to take in the surroundings of the forest and your survival roll, along with your stealth check, you're able to very deftly maneuver between the trees, and you come up really close. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with the program of what you see now.
Got the hiccups.
The worst.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay.
No, I'm sorry for you.
Shame.
Okay, so go ahead and move you back into like the trees over here. But basically, as you look on out, and again, you were able to get close enough without drawing anyone's attention. Where are they? Over here. But basically, as you had gotten closer, the shouts had sort of escalated from just a bit of a shouting match to the actual clash of shields against each other, just as you were starting to breach the tree line. And you, with that roll, just kind of snuck back just a bit, and are watching through the trees carefully as these two groups of armored soldiers, about a dozen or so per side, have just started clashing. They haven't started actually swinging their weapons or anything. At this point, they're shoving one another with their shields. But yeah, it just appears to be soldiers of two different garbs. The one closest to you, the soldiers are going to be wearing crimson silks and bright iron armor on the shoulders and skull caps, and they have round shields and swords. And it looks like they're being led by what you can only assume to be a captain, because he's hanging back with a crossbow. And the other side here is going to be clad all in black with spears and tower shields. And they seem to be in more of a shield wall. You'll also see, and by the way, I'm not normally this descriptive, it's just catching you up, by the way.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
I
But
appreciate it.
yeah, no. And so, yeah, from your sight line in the trees over here, you would also see slowly moving off into the opposite tree line a group of people that look like they're definitely not in any sort of uniform, very ragtag, don't really know what they're doing here, and they seem to be pretty confused about that as well, to be honest, to get their expressions. But yes, you see a elven woman in a little bit of armor and a bow, pink skin. You see a dude looking like Elvis with a lute. By the way, I just wanted to correct you from last time, Eric. You don't have a flute, you have a lute.
A lute. Oh.
Yeah, you were trying to play a flute last time, and I was confused. I was like, you're a guitar dude.
Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know how well you'd see her because she's all stealth as well, but maybe you could see like her ponytail. But there's a another elfy character over here with some stabby stabs, and a turtle with a big giant trident. Normally I would have you roll because this is so far away, but again, just to get you caught up.
Selective, huh?
Yeah, I can hear you. You see on the opposite side of all the fighting and whatnot. I will post another picture to the chat quick of this, but basically you would see a big creature that's about maybe 30 feet long. And alongside it, you see another very, very tall elven woman. And she is leading this animal towards the forest. It has a couple crossbow bolts sticking out of its head. Just chatting. Drop this in here. Okay, that is the creature that you'd see alongside the elven woman, about 30 feet long.
Oh, cute.
Right?
Hell yeah.
All right. And put back here. Okay, so other than that, before I turn it loose to the group setting, because we're basically about to be caught up to where we ended the last session, but you just see, again, these guys over here clashing, but both are playing the defensive at this point. And then you see these people kind of sneaking off into the woods and looking really confused and lost. Anything you would do immediately other than watch from a distance? Oh, there she is. Okay. So you're about over here somewhere. Nobody sees you.
The woman on the giant creature.
Right over here.
Very fascinated with her. Let me see. I'm trying to see. What do I got?
This gator is just a placeholder, by the way, just because I didn't prepare the model.
Nah, yeah, I figured. I mean, okay.
And then just out of character, but they have not officially declared that they're fighting back or anything just yet, so they don't seem to be in combat.
Combat. Okay, gotcha.
Not yet.
I feel like my character doesn't really know if she feels like this is worth getting involved in yet, so I'm gonna stay towards the back and kind of observe to kind of figure out basically who I want to fight with if I do decide to fight.
Perfect. All right, then with that, I'm gonna turn it back to the original folks. If you guys recall from last session, these guys originally, shot up the creature right after it had crawled up on the shore, and Emery had just healed it. They shot it in the face and it started running off. You guys had a bit of a shouting match back and forth with them. They almost drew on you because they thought you were one of these other guys, and then just as they were about to do that, the folks that, and I'm going to correct the way that I said this, so yes, I am going back on this. However, the Cinderis troops came through the tree line and said that they're here to help you, here to aid you, and to take you back to their master. or lord. And that's about where we left off. They started shouting at one another and they started clashing their shields. But again, like I was just talking to Hannah, it doesn't seem like either side is trying to make this into a bloodbath. They're being very defensive and pushing one another back.
Okay.
So
Okay.
what do you guys want to do?
Eric, we're not getting involved.
I'm just saying we pick a side. You know, we should definitely take the side that's trying to help us. The ones who didn't shoot at the animal. You know, obviously they're the antagonists.
Elasarin, did I say your name right? Elasarin?
Yes.
Okay.
Elasarin.
What's your idea? Do you have an idea here that doesn't involve getting involved?
Are they fighting yet?
They are fighting.
No,
defensive.
they're being defensive.
They're essentially
Weakly, got
their shields, like they've clashed with one another, the shield line. But basically, I'll say that without any rolls, you kind of get the feeling, since the last thing that was said to you was the captain on this side with the black clothing folks, Cinderis guys, their captain had told you to get behind them and they would be getting you out of here. But they don't seem to be attacking one another. They're just clashing shields and trying to push. Each side is trying to push the other back. So they're fighting, quote unquote, but like it doesn't seem like either side is trying to just get this over with.
I'm gonna stay behind those guys that told me to get behind them, but not behind them. In the tree line, I'm gonna sit down and eat a snack and watch them.
Eat a snack.
I was gonna say I'm completely down to let them duke it out, and then whoever wins, we can be like, "Oh my god, was rooting for you all along, bestie."
Yeah, I'm down with that.
I mean, I could definitely go heal
Can
some of
I?
them.
What's up?
I'm trying to think.
Take your time.
Can I see anything from the direction that they came? Like, can I see the actual shoreline from behind them?
Sure.
Yeah, I would say this is a bit of a placeholder as far as like exact location on that I'm showing you. They maybe have their ships like roughly here-ish, or just it's actually okay. Point is, I would say that since we're not in combat right now and we're not doing any initiative, you could move a little bit closer. You know, maybe just far enough to see through the tree line, and roll me a perception check.
Okay. Got it. Let me see.
Okay. 18?
18.
Okay. I would say that it is a little bit difficult just because, you know, dark of night and you're looking through tree line. But I would say that, first of all, thanks to your dark vision, actually, and just overly keen eyes that you've inherited from your elvish side, you would be able to pick out the faint outline in the mist of one mast with a sail, and it would look to be obviously a small ship attached to it, and there's some muddiness around the outline of the ship itself that could be bodies that aren't really moving too much, but yeah, you would be able to see something along those lines through the trees.
Do I see anything? Do they have a flag on the mast?
No. This is I don't want to describe too much because it would be difficult to make out too many details at this point, but it doesn't look like you're
Okay.
If this is somewhat out of character, somewhat in, but it doesn't look like, for instance, like a pirate ship, like a tall ship that's made for seafaring. This looks very low to the ocean, and it just has a mast with a sail. So larger than like a, you know, 1 or 2 man sailboat, but like it's not a, I can't even think of the word right now, but yeah, it's not a super big ship. It's like a boat. Clearly,
like a mid-size SUV.
Sure, if in the way of boats, yeah. It was clearly big enough to carry this many troops, at least. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to camp out where I am and watch and see what happens.
Okay, so you're camping out as well. Is everyone else kind of in the same situation? I know, Emily, you are over with the creature.
Yeah, I'm busy.
Yeah, but the other guys, are y'all just kind of
Camping.
all chilling
Good
together?
chilling. Yep.
Okay.
So how's everyone doing?
Oh god. All right. Second here. Pausing for just a moment. That's good. That's good. Okay. So yeah, you guys are all cut up. You're not trying to plan anything else right at this moment, right?
Nay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now we got backup.
You're a backup.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So then maybe 45 seconds or so passes by of just these guys, shouting at one another and, shoving one another with their shields. And both sides, they'll push forward a few feet, then get pushed back a few feet, back and forth, with what you would assume to be their captain still standing back a little ways, not super engaging. And yeah, after maybe about a minute of this, then you would hear what you'd assume to be the captain of them guys in black, who have been said to be the Cinderis house. You would hear him say, "Higden, there is nothing to be won here. Our orders are to rescue these strangers and report back to Ahlivar. Nothing more. Tell your men to back down and we will let you have the beast." And then a few seconds passes by and you hear the other one that has been identified as House Talandrin. And he said, I guess at this point he's been named Higden, but he says, "Gilvis, my friend, where is your love of sport? Do you deny me?" And then Gilvis says, "I will not entertain your taunts, Higden. Back down or bring needless death to your men." And then a few moments passes. Nothing's really changing or letting up. And then Higden, after a very audible sigh, even from this distance, says, "Enough! Ease!" And as he says that, his men start to slowly, it can't tell if they're actually being pushed back or are falling back, but then just a moment later you hear from Gilves, "Ease! Ease!" And as such, the men on both sides begin to step backwards with their shields raised high, and there becomes a decent gap between the lines. I guess I'll try to right now, but this is probably going to be difficult. Yeah, grab that guy. You get back there. That's not... Yeah. Anywho, so it seems that both have stepped back from the fight, almost ignoring you all at this point. And just a moment to get my notes back. Okay. So then, Higden, over here, of the Talandran folks, is going to say, "Take these strangers and leave at once, Gilvis. The beast is ours by your forfeit. Show any sign of aggression and we will cut you down." And Gilvis, in response, says, "The beast is yours, as I said. We will depart, but know that it is by my mercy alone." And to Higden says, "Silence! Your self-righteousness never ceases to amaze me. Be gone." And then Gilvis, as one last thing, just says, "We will have plenty more chances to kill each other, Higden. I'm simply in no rush." You all, over there. To the boat. Men, ease. And they're
I'm
going
not
to...
going to the boat without the animal.
Okay.
I see an
There's-
issue arising here.
They're slowly easing back. The men on the Telandran side are slowly advancing, but not aggressively.
They're animal now.
It is not.
And as they are moving back, they've made it maybe 20 feet back at this point. And then Gilvas is going to say, "What are you doing? We're here to aid you. Fall back behind our ranks to the ship."
I'm gonna fall back to Emily and help her protect the animal because I have a feeling Ruffle's gonna come down for this thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna work my way over to
sorry. Emery.
Emery as well.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
And if she doesn't want to let the animal go, let's do it. Eric, get your
Oh, good lord.
flute ready. Or-
My flute? My loot.
Okay. And then Hannah, you were witness to all of that as it was happening.
Right.
That's the only information that as in character would have access to, is what you were just witnessing and what you heard.
Okay.
And I'd say at that distance, you could probably hear these folks talking amongst themselves, so you could kind of deduce that they're at least together, and that they're kind of being rescued-ish.
Okay. I guess I'll go over there and
Did you just want to maybe
Introduce myself.
stick
I'll
to
say
the
a good-
trees?
yeah, I'll stay a good distance back, but kind of following them.
Okay.
I just want to get off this island, basically.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, I would say with the stealth roll that you made, you're able to kind of encircle them all the way around, because essentially they have taken several minutes at this point, I would say, to get to this backward point.
Gotcha.
But do you want to stay hidden at this point for now? Or do you
Yeah,
want
for
to-
now,
Okay.
I'll stay hidden. I'm still observing, trying to figure out.
Okay. Gotcha. So then I would say, if that's the case, and you guys are all just kind of encircling the creature here, make sure I got everybody together. Okay. And so then, in that case, then Gilvis here would say, "Hold, men!" Oh, I still got one of these other guys over here. Whoop, get back.
Raider.
Right? He don't even know which side he's on. Oh shit! Sorry, guys. Okay, so then with that order, the men all stop where they're at in position and form another shield wall again, just defensively. And then Gilvis is going to actually, with that in place, walk a few steps towards you guys and just say, "What are you people doing around that beast? What's the problem?"
The problem is that you're just giving him away. It's not okay. I don't appreciate that, and I'm not gonna let you just let these people kill him.
I
His name
understand.
is Jeff, and he's our friend.
I understand that you are unfamiliar with what is happening here, and I understand that this is all very, very high tension, and that I can see that you care for this animal, but you don't understand what's going on here.
Well, I don't think you understand that if you want us to go with you, you're not gonna just give this animal away. He's coming with us.
And then Pigden over here would say, "Gilvas, what are you doing? I said to leave immediately." Gilvas is actually going to probably ignore that, and just say, "Look, I understand that you care for this animal. What you don't understand is that these beasts, when they come up on land, they're here to die. If you would just take the time to come with us, I can explain it all much better. But you can see around you if you just look in the bay, the bones and the remains. This is where they come to die, and we have a ritual. I'll explain more later, but this beast is at the end of its life, There's nothing we can do for it. And it's, at this point, our price that we pay just to allow them their little victory so that we don't have to shed the blood of men tonight. Do you understand?
Well, you shed the blood of something that you think is lesser than you, and that's not cool.
Roll persuasion.
Okay. I don't want to go get my dice. I'm gonna roll on the app.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
21.
21. Very nice. Okay. So Gilvis just kind of is, maintaining eye contact with you with a sort of baffled face, and just lets out a slight sigh and just says, with what I have just told you, knowing that this creature will die very soon, likely within the next few minutes, would you like to fight for its last few minutes? Or would you like to just be irrational and come with me?
It wasn't supposed to die to begin with. They shot him.
Well, I was admittedly here to see this, but surely you noticed that when it came ashore, it was on its last leg. Did you not? Did you not notice that it was dying before they shot it?
I healed it. And you wasted my spell for nothing. It's really about balance.
Let me know if you want me to throw the boomerang.
Oh, Lord. Oh, man.
I'll also throw the trident.
Look, if we let it die naturally, then we can give it like a hero's burial and be done with it.
It's not a natural death.
He's fully healthy.
Well, he literally just says to die anyways. At least they don't get to do their weird ritual with it.
Yeah, he's feeling much better.
We don't know him.
Yeah. Boomerang time.
I will say, Emery, if you are willing to listen to anything that Gilvis says, and this is your option, your choice, but if you'd like, you can roll a medicine check on the beast if you wanted to actually just look it over. But again, it's like up to you if you aren't even interested in what he has to say.
May I make a suggestion?
Sure. Yeah.
Because I have beast speech. Am I able to?
We don't know that.
Well,
she's asking out of character right now. You guys don't know she's character, but she's still here. Let me try to find your character again. Oh, here you are.
I'm going to walk up and use beast speech and basically just ask the creature what the swiftest way it wants to die. I just want this over.
Okay.
My character's just like this is. Yeah.
I understand. So are you going to... Let me see. What's the range on beast speech, by the way?
Oh, let me find that.
I had it pulled up, but I got so many tabs.
It is...
or is it like cast on self?
Yeah, I think it's just cast on self.
It might be. Spells.
Yeah.
Animals. Okay, cast on self.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you could still be from a distance, but you would obviously be heard by the other players. So, where'd Linda go? There we go. Anyways, so with that knowledge, would you step out first and reveal yourself? Or,
Yeah, I'll step out, and kind of just, talk to the creature and be like, you're where you're dying, right? Because there's no way this creature's living, right?
Gotcha. So, to the rest of you guys, as you guys are having this conversation with the sergeant and amongst yourselves about this animal, I would say, just based on location and passive perception, at very least, Kat and Eric would hear the rustling over your shoulders and turn with your alertness and notice a tiefling woman walking out of the shrubs. I would assume you are not acting very hostile, right?
No, I'm kind of standoffish, but I'm not hostile.
Okay, very good. And you hear her muttering first. See what components are in. Yeah, verbal and somatic. So she is murmuring some sort of arcane speak and does some kind of hand signals and begins low droning like you heard from this creature just earlier, just a moment ago before all of this craziness, but just like a low, going, like, coming from her mouth. And as you look back, the beast actually starts to answer, just with a little bit more whine to its voice, though, just kind of bellowing back and forth. Hannah, what would you say to it or ask it?
I'm first going to just tell the creature, like, you're aware, like, you're dying, there's no saving you, right? Like,
Gotcha.
And see if it understands that death is inevitable.
Right. Oh, yes. Yes, I'm aware. I've known for a time. This is how my people choose to go. This is the place of our death. That's probably about all you'd get out of it right now. I am scared, but I'm okay with this.
Do you want to die alone as you are, or do you want me to just make this swift and just put you out of your misery? Is what I'm going to ask it.
Roll animal handling for me. Just because you just met this thing and it's confused as to why you're talking to it in the first place. Or how.
That's fair. And then I have a +3.
Okay. It should automatically apply. Oh, you just did a flat roll. Okay, so 14?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. 14. Yeah. I would say, like, it thinks for a moment, it pauses. You can tell that its gaze would be intense if its eyes weren't so kind of glossed over and milky.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of drooling a little bit. Again, it's got 2 crossbow bolts sticking out of the side of its face.
Homie going through it.
Yeah, he's not having a great night, not gonna lie. But it's just gonna say, I think either way, someone will be ending me soon. I would rather not feel it, if possible.
Okay.
And just to everyone else, just because I know this is kind of happening right now, all you can make out from either of them is like low groans, but this is proceeding over like seconds, but you can't really tell exactly what's going on. So yeah, just to the group in general, Hannah included, what's going on?
I'm trying to think of like, oh, go ahead.
I would like to do a perception check to know, like, if I kind of have an understanding of the fact that they're speaking to each other, for one, and for two, if, like, if it seems, like, neutral, or, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, like, it's a calm conversation. Like, there's no aggression or anything.
Yeah, sure. Let me think. Let me look at your sheet real quick just to see one thing. Okay, yeah, your perception and animal handling are the same plus, so it doesn't really matter which one, honestly. But yeah, just whichever one you want to roll. Yeah, go ahead and make me a roll. See what you get.
Only a 10.
10?
Yeah.
That's okay. I would say since it's a role that you're proficient with in the first place, it's hard to make out a whole lot, just because obviously they're speaking in a bestial tongue that's deep and guttural.
Mhm.
I would say, though, at least with a 10, you would be able to, just by their sort of body language, there's no sense of aggression. You can't tell with that role, that per se it's peaceful. So you can't really tell, like, maybe what the contents of the conversation are, but neither are getting defensive or sneering or posturing or anything like that. So it seems to be as calm as you can understand.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay. So I would say just with this little bit of time passing, the sergeant is just getting a little nervous and just saying, "What is going on?"
Killing it? You said they were using it for a ritual?
Correct. They haven't said a whole lot. I will say, because you showed up. Yeah, I would say that you showed up at least in earshot early enough, just because it was one of the last things that was said last session, right before they clashed.
Mm-hmm.
There was something mentioned. First of all, I don't remember word for word what I said, but I do know what I would reveal. But just there was something mentioned between the two parties when they were arguing, the soldiers, something about a hunt, and that this was something unusual. Not the hunt per se, but like tonight's obviously like weird because there's strangers involved.
Mm-hmm.
But like the whole party would get the sense, you watching and listening from the woods as well, that these two houses, Talandran and Cinderis, you don't know enough to know like how long this has been going on or whatever, but you get the sense that they're very familiar with one another and they are enemies, and there's something about a hunt and this creature. So those are the elements that everyone has right now.
I think I'm gonna kill this creature.
Okay.
Just swiftly.
No.
Is that gonna like...
I mean, whatever your character would do.
It's gonna die anyways?
Yeah.
Can I ask an out-of-character question?
Sure.
Because I just want to know if my character knows this, because mentioning the ritual. It's not like... It's like a tradition thing. It's not like killing it's going to suddenly open some magical, like, whatever. But we don't know, like, nothing like that, right?
You can roll Arcana.
Okay, let me do that first before I make a...
Yeah.
Good.
And on
If I
top
wanna roll-
of... what's
go
that?
ahead.
Oh, if you want
No,
to
go
roll,
ahead.
like, specific roll? Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, you would actually just, on your character sheet, I use the app, but I think it works the same way with on mouse and keyboard, but you actually just can click on whatever skill. And if you just click it once or tap it once, it'll roll.
Oh,
Yeah, it's super
Sure enough.
handy. D&D Beyond's been getting better. It's loading for me.
yeah.
Oh shit, 23? Wow. Yeah, no, I would say just based on your knowledge and because you're proficient with Arcana, and you're pretty used to magical things, you can tell for certain that there's nothing about this animal. Well, I wouldn't say nothing about this animal, but like nothing about this situation. Just glancing about the soldiers, you don't see, any sort of actual ritual here, like, any religious iconography or spell books or anything. And the creature looks very natural. So,
Okay.
just from those sort of things, it doesn't seem like when they say ritual that it's anything magical in nature. And I would say that if you want to get further confirmation, you could ask the sergeant, because he probably knows a thing or two. Any of you could, but I'm just saying. Or if you want to just go through with what your gut tells you, that's fine too.
I'm gonna look at the group and I'm gonna tell them what's on my mind. I'm just gonna be like, hey y'all, this creature's ready to die. It just wants to be killed swiftly. Like, y'all are just wasting time. Like,
Right.
I'm gonna kill it. Y'all good with that?
What are you guys? You guys gonna say anything or just stare at her?
I prepare my boomerang and give her a glare.
I'm gonna step aside.
Not speed.
You say
If it's the wishes of the crocodile thing.
Cat, you said
I'm
you're
sure.
gonna step aside.
Oh yeah, I didn't mean like the other side. Just kind of like get out of
No, I know.
her line of fire and just be
Yeah.
like, I'm done with this situation. If it needs to die, it needs to die.
Anyone want to ask her any questions? You know, a stranger just popped out of the woods and started casting spells, and then says she's
Starts
gonna kill it.
talking in
So,
grunts
I
and
mean,
hums.
Yeah. Anything or just too shocked, maybe?
I feel like maybe because I didn't see any aggression from the animal, especially with my first encounter with him, how he kind of was aggressive with me,
Mm-hmm.
that this animal, like, trusts her in a way, because, animal isn't pulling back, and, like you said, it didn't seem aggressive. On either side, and so I'm not really gonna do anything about it. I'm just gonna stay next to the animal.
Okay, fair enough.
Stand next to it if you know.
Yeah, I would say, with your rolls as well, you can still in this moment see that it's like locked eyes with her, but it's just completely neutral, like just
Yeah, it's not
staring
pulling away.
blankly. Yeah. Okay. Well, Hannah.
Yeah, I'm looking at my cantrips
Yeah, you're good.
real quick to make sure, because I don't want to waste a spell slot, but I just want to do whatever's gonna just like.
Yeah, no, I will say you can tell that Bro is not doing okay. He is trembling under his own weight, drooling, bleeding profusely from his wounds on its face. Yeah.
In that case, I'm just going to use my dagger and just kill it swiftly.
Okay. So
Just-
you
yeah.
just slowly step forward. She, I would assume, is still not acting aggressively, and you guys did just talk to her a little bit. And she is going to slowly slip out the dagger. And I would say I'm going to treat it as if it were restrained, so it's going to be an auto hit. So just roll damage for me.
Okay.
So you should be able to actually just tap on like your weapon or attack. Can't remember which.
Oh, can you really?
Yeah. I think it might be under your actions, under your attacks. But you roll. Oh yeah, right there. I see it. So you would buy the weapon you want to
Yeah.
choose. Just click on under where it says damage.
Yeah. Just hit damage.
Yeah, like next.
Oh gosh.
Like it'll say like 1d4 plus 1, for instance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh.
It's still loading, but I'm guessing it was just a 1 on the roll. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
He
I don't know if
lives!
that's enough to. Yeah, I just heard him more. That would suck.
He just cut off a finger.
No.
paper cut.
Stab him with my trident.
How about this, just in case, just to leave decision up to everyone, I would say that you're kind of either, I mean, however you want to be doing it, but either, stabbing it like kind of behind the jaw, and it's just giving you resistance as you're doing so, or slashing its neck, whatever. I would just say, like, with that damage, you would need to just push a little harder. Like, it's not like it's like, oh, now it's struggling, because it's only took, like, 1 second. But, like, do you continue to plunge the knife, basically?
Yeah.
Like, you're getting resistance, it groaned a little bit, and then just roll one more attack, then. This was just to simulate, like, if anyone wanted to stop her last minute.
There we go.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, he had about 5 health left. So yeah, so the creature just kind of lets out a soft groan, and then this new tiefling kind of, with one hand cradling the other side of its head, just kind of guides it to the ground slowly as it just kind of slowly collapses under its own weight.
There. Now we can stop arguing. Is what I guess my character will say.
Okay.
Peter's coming for you.
You say heat.
What?
I said PETA.
Oh, PETA.
Now I'm gonna ask her where the hell she came from.
Yeah. Where'd you come from?
Probably the same place where y'all did. I just woke up. Have no idea where I am. Y'all tell me
What's your name?
why y'all are here.
I
I'm
will
so
say,
sorry. I need to turn down the
Same.
a lot more.
yeah, while y'all are adjusting that, I'm just gonna say that, like, I want you guys to have this conversation, so just pausing it. But like, before you guys can continue on much further, the sergeant's going to just say, like, I'm so sorry that you had to experience this, but we really must be going. I'll explain it all the best I can. So with me, if you will. And, you know, we don't have to continue on dragging things out, but if you guys all agree, they're going to retreat back to their boat and start loading you guys in, if that's okay. Do you guys follow?
That's good with
I
me.
guess, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I want y'all to continue this conversation, but just like story-wise, let's not have a talk right here while these guys are like about to attack.
Yeah.
If that's your choice. But I feel like that's
Yeah.
what the party wants to do. So
Yeah,
okay.
we can talk and move at the same time.
okay, so I'll say I'm gonna go ahead and close Tailspire now, just because there's no more threat of combat. But yeah, you guys, you know, follow the sergeant and the troops. They all are just easing and, you know, very carefully and slowly backpedaling back to the ship, never turning their back on the enemy. They seem very well regimented. And as you get closer to the ship, you can see basically the details on it, kind of like I was hinting at. It looks very reminiscent of like a Viking longship. Can hold, you know, 30 or 40 people, or, you know, 30 people and some cargo. And when you get to the ship, there's probably another dozen men or so with shields standing around at the ready. And as you guys approach, they all kind of hop back in, or file back into the ship and take their seats in rowing position and start to shove off a little bit as you guys all start to pile into the boat. And you don't see any Talandran following, so they seem to have stopped pursuing. And yeah, now you guys can go ahead and pick up on role-playing and asking her where she came from and whatnot as the boat is starting to pull away from shore.
I go take my seat.
Well,
So
how
yeah,
goes
we
it?
woke up. I think we were out last night. We just all woke up in the fields.
Dang. Okay. Did y'all know each other before y'all woke up, or
No, this is
All
our
of y'all,
first
okay.
time meeting.
No,
First time meeting
I
everyone.
died on a boat, to be honest, and then I woke up in this field.
oh,
I don't know
Wow.
that.
you say you don't know that?
Sorry, Shay
Oh,
just
gotcha.
said, she whispered, "You don't know that." And I was like, "I don't."
Ah,
First time.
We
No,
don't
you
know
do.
how we got here. We just woke
Ah,
up. in
see,
the
he said
field.
we don't. We
Oh,
know
we
our
do?
backstory.
You're all
Oh,
aware
okay.
of the backstory and any conversations that I've had with you about your
Oh,
characters. So
okay,
that's all
okay.
I'll personally
Okay.
say. It's up to you guys what you want to share. But yeah, if you
Okay.
wanted to say that out loud, you do know that.
Well, I'm a turtle. I grew up with some Vikings, to be honest. My friends got murdered by a seagull, and I'm trying to kill the seagull king and all the other seagulls. But they killed my friends when I was little, and then I got mad and found Vikings, and they taught me how to fight. And now I'm on a mission to kill every seagull I can find. But I woke up in this weird field with these people staring at me, so...
nice. Did you kill any seagulls on the beach just
No.
now, or
No, none yet. None yet. I
Darn.
did witness a horrific slow dagger murder But other than that, no.
Oh, well, darn. Oops. My bad. Okay. So we got a turtle.
Well-
Who else?
I'm Kat. What's your name?
Oh yeah.
I am Deyanira.
Deyanira?
Deyanira. You can
Deyanira.
just call me Dea or something.
Dea. Reminds me of my first wife.
About it.
Oh, I thought you looked familiar, and now I remember.
Classic.
Nay. Yeah.
I don't know who Arik is, but he carries a musical instrument.
Okay. So you all just...
Yeah. They just all woke up randomly. And then these men started attacking us. Or actually, they started attacking the animal.
Do we know where they're taking us? Like, did they say
No.
they said to safety,
No.
but they didn't say where that was.
Yeah, right.
But they said they were sent here to
I
protect
believe
us, so
to
they
the
must have known we were
leader.
coming.
Okay.
Yeah, we're about to gain an audience with whoever sent them.
Okay.
That'll be
Gotcha.
interesting. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing the same. I just want to get somewhere to where I can figure out where I'm at.
Oh,
Yeah, we
Gotcha.
seem to all be confused. Hello, my name is Elican. We all don't have too many memories.
Okay, so we all woke up with a bad case of amnesia for the most part on
This
some
is
weird
true.
island. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Got
I
roofied.
guess we will. Dang, I hate when that happens.
Does anybody have any elven bread? Kind of hungry. No elven bread?
None at
Cat,
all.
aren't you a half elf?
Yeah, I
she just
didn't
has
bring
that
any
on.
bread.
She didn't bring no elven bread.
Oh, so you're
Okay, that's
fake
fine.
elf.
Oh, that's specious.
Oh, we're already starting with it. God.
You half blood muggle.
Oh my gosh.
And these are the steps of how Pita was formed. Emery with the sight of anger.
Poor Emery. She's just so quiet right now.
I was down to help fight those dudes and protect that alligator thing.
I was all about it. I was like, let's go into it.
Well, y'all
But it
didn't
did
that.
say, well, it did say it wished to die, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, I can't take that from it. Like, I guess.
You didn't understand.
Right, you didn't hear shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
All we saw was the animal get killed.
oh,
Yeah,
I'm a
y'all-
turtle. I guess I can't hear them. Okay,
It's
never
an
mind.
actual, It's an actual spell that you'd have to cast or have cast on you.
I
But
should have hit her with my boomerang.
so you just heard them growling at each other essentially, and then she just walked up and stabbed it.
Oh, so she could be aggressive. Okay.
Well, I did check with her. She wasn't acting aggressive, so she seemingly was trying to express that she was not harmful to anybody, but for whatever reason, I don't think she ever said that it told her they wanted to die, but she walked up and ended it. That's all you know.
Man,
I'm sure you
I
could
do-
probably ask her about it when she comes back.
God told me it's okay. He translated for me.
Which one?
You,
Oh, fair enough.
the voice in the
did.
sky.
In all fairness, tell us that the creature said that it wanted to die, but we didn't hear it firsthand.
Yeah.
So I'm suspicious and also a little bit in mourning.
Yeah. How do we know that? Oh wait, I just forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, how do we know the animal just didn't have some sort of momentary depression? We don't know. Should have saved it. Next animal.
Momentary depression.
Momentary.
You don't know. What if he was lying? That's it's not his tradition of his people.
Suicide.
I'm saying it's next time we're saving.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
We're saving it.
They were just discussing the death of the animal, mostly out of character, and just saying how they feel about it.
We should have asked you.
And then Emery was somewhat in character, not actually speaking in character, but just expressing that she's keeping to herself and seemingly in mourning over the creek.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna focus on getting to whatever location that we're going to. I'm not
Another
like
land.
super interested in conversation yet, only information, but
Fair enough.
Not-
Fair enough.
not.
So I would say, you guys have been rowing for a minute, maybe a couple
Wait,
minutes.
we're
just-
rowing?
You're not rowing. No. You're,
Oh,
you're
like-
being
oh,
rowed. No,
they-
they
oh.
didn't put you to work. No, there's.
Like, motherfuckers!
No, there's plenty of standing room here. Again, it's similar to a Viking longship, where there's a good deal of space in the center of the ship near the mast that you guys can be huddled around, or I mean even seated, but you'd be seated next to guys that are rowing. You don't know, but anyways, you guys were having this conversation amongst yourselves. I would say while everyone's rowing, as your conversation is kind of coming to a close, Sergeant Gilvis, the sergeant, starts kind of walking y'all's way on the ship. Staying a few paces away while you guys talk, trying to give you privacy, by the seams of it, and then steps in and just says, "My apologies for this mess. My name is Gilvis of North Theris. Lord Oliver sent us to retrieve you and bring him to safety. But I understand that this whole mess has been likely very confusing for you. Do you have questions, or I'm sorry, I'm personally just a little bit curious, but where did all of you come from? How are you on this island with no ship?"
I'm going to ask how they knew we were there, or like why they want to save us anyways. Like what purpose?
Well, lady, it was actually my Lord Oliver. He woke us. It was slightly a ways into our shift. He alerted us as the tower had spotted the animal approaching shore like usual, but somehow he personally knew that there would be people on this island that were from some faraway lands, and I tried to ask after him, but unfortunately, I do not know. He was in such a rush. He promised that he would explain once we returned, but he said that it was very urgent, that we'd be on our way to beat the other houses to make sure that you were safe. He is known to be quite cryptic at times, but he always has reasons for what he does or says. I trust him, so hopefully we will all get some answers when we come ashore.
Very vague. Okay.
I mean, I could only elaborate so much. I'm available to any questions you may have. I don't want to seem standoffish by any means. I just personally, it's slightly above my pay grade, if you understand what I mean.
What is your kingdom like?
You say, what is my kingdom like?
Yes.
Oh, well, the land actually belongs to Lord Oliver, and, well, it's kind of messy, actually, but the island, the main island that we all live on, is actually divided between the three houses that you may have heard us arguing over. It's going to be our house, which is House Cinderis, the Talandrins that you just had the misfortune of meeting. Sorry about that. But also House Dracus, which, thank the gods, they were not there tonight for whatever reason. Sometimes choose not to come out, more and more so recently. But we split the island. into our 3 territories. We've sort of been at this for decades before I was ever here. This whole place just kind of came about over the years in the past as a haven for any less fortunate, you might say, criminals or outlaws from other lands who were looking for a safe harbor. But Lord Oliver does run a tight ship. While we may be known as lawless, we do uphold order, at least in our house. You'll see it's quite a decent place, honestly. I've been here for years, at least maybe 5 or 6, and it's been a very pleasant experience throughout. Lots of families actually live here.
How do y'all feel about pelicans?
I'm sorry. Pelicans?
Pelicans. The evil pelicans. How do you feel about them in your kingdom?
Well, I don't believe there's any sort of ruling as a kingdom. I personally am not a great fan whenever I'm spending time to myself down on the beach and just get harassed by them, so personally not really a big fan, but...
Great, we'll be friends. That's all I need to know.
Alright, very well, silly turtle.
Was the ritual that they were going to use the animal for?
Yes. I suppose I do owe you a bit of explanation on that. I apologize for having to rush you out of there like I did. But, you see, it goes back to really as far back as when all of the 3 houses were formed, really. It was maybe a few years in. You know, petty squabbles of territory disputes were happening. And once we had built walls high enough to have a sort of vantage point, because as you'll see, there is mist over the water right now, so you can't really see, but we're actually quite close. Maybe only a mile or so off land. But we were able to see, well, I say we, again, I've only been here a few years. This has been going on for decades. But the original people in these territories had taken note that every number of days or so, one of these beasts, one of these creatures would beach itself on this tiny island. It's what we call the Eye. The Eye is what we call this island that you all spoke on where we met. As it's encircled by our larger island. But this just strange thing, these creatures had started coming up out of the water, beaching themselves, and they would soon die before we could even get there, most times. But originally it started out of curiosity and discovery, just what these things were. But as our houses, rather, had started to harvest them, we didn't want them to go to waste. They began being harvested, and throughout the years, experiments were done, and they seemed to have some very valuable resources on them. One of the most valuable of which that is really the reason that we still fight over these things is their blood. It seems to have a healing property. If you were to condense it and run it through various presses, it's actually where we supply our infirmaries with healing draughts that we make from their blood. It's messy business, but something no one really understands why they do it, but they just seem to wash up here as maybe some sort of ancient ritual of their own. I don't know, but they just come up to shore to die at the end of their lives. And we race there, all the houses, or whoever takes note, to try to be the first to harvest it. And usually it leads to a fight, a skirmish. We try to not shed as much blood as possible, just to scare them off. And whoever, gets there first usually is the one who gets to harvest the animal. So, again, I apologize that you had to see it alive still. Like I said, normally they don't live that long. They usually wash ashore and immediately just lay down and die. But hopefully that's explanation enough.
Thank you for explaining that. Strange question. Has anyone else ever strangely awoken on this island before?
No. To my knowledge, you would definitely be the first. I still am very, very curious. Again, I trust Lord Ahlivar, so I reserve any judgment, but this is quite strange and unusual.
Outside of this creature living for quite some time, has anything else unusual been happening here or across the other kingdoms?
There's quite a bit of discord around the region, with us being on the eastern coast of Kingdoms of Man, which I assume you may know. I don't know where you all hail from. We are on the eastern coast of Aethrasil, and typically a lot of infighting and whatnot, but nothing really out of the usual. This is definitely the most unusual thing besides the beast that I've encountered personally recently.
I'm sorry, I'm just hoping some of this will get my memory to come back.
Yes. I hope
what
so
are
as
some
well.
of the common house colors, common motifs, religions of all these kingdoms? Maybe something can come back to me.
Well, I mean, as far as the houses go, House Sindaris, we fly black colors. It's just kind of been a tradition with our folks, mostly coming from mercenary groups. We tend to be a much more militaristic territory than the other two. So we fly the mercenary blacks. House Talandran, as you saw, they fly the red. I honestly have no real interest or insight into why they do these things, but I'm sure that Lord Ahlivar would know, since he has to be privy to these things. The one house, again, that you did not meet tonight, House Drakis, they do fly sickly green color. It's slightly disturbing, to be honest with you, but everything about them is really disturbing. You think of the word lawless, and pretty much whatever you picture is really, that's what's going on in Drakis. Outside of that, I mean, I could talk about the gods, I guess, but I expect you to know about the gods.
Thank you so much.
Yes. I'm sure that, if you wanted to, I don't know, borrow any books or, ask any in-depth questions to my master, he would probably know better.
And is it fine that we are going to your master empty-handed?
Yes. As far as I know, he didn't say anything about trying to collect anything from you. He said that you would be allies, that we were to protect you. So, however he knows about you, it seems that you were, well, I would say amongst friends, but you are strangers. I don't know what his plans are, but he's not expecting anything from you. By the way, I meant to stream a picture of the guy's face because I'm going to try to do that when you're talking to somebody, so we can put it up. I mean, y'all saw him on the battlefield, but just a casual. Okay, yeah, so that's just a visual of the guy talking to you. So, Sergeant Gilvis, as he claimed, is going to have a sturdy, strong jaw, nice, rounded, rugged features, bright green eyes, medium brown hair, some strange bar tattoos going up his neck, and black armor. Looks to be in his 20s, maybe. Not early, mid to late 20s.
Mid to late 20s.
Again, I should have described this already, so apologies. I got too focused on talking.
It is alright. I appreciate you talking.
Thank you.
So what can you tell me of your lord?
Well, there's quite a bit, but honestly, really the most important thing right now, Lord Oliver has been ruler of these lands for the better part of, I'd say, 10 years now, I believe, maybe a little longer. And our home is home to more than 4,000 people with the military, about 1,500 strong. Lord Oliver is a bit of an intense man, but again, he doesn't do anything without reason, speak without reason. He seems to always have a good head on his shoulders and make sound, rational decisions. He's really brought this place up. It's always been a decent territory amongst the three houses, but since he's been here, it's been thriving quite well. He's a very, very reasonable man, very fair.
Excellent. Well, I'm just waiting till we see the Lord now.
Fair enough. We should be there in the next few minutes, I believe.
Excellent. Anybody got anything else?
Thank you so much for guiding us here.
Yes, of course. It's my pleasure. As the sergeant of the runner crews to the eye, yes, it's definitely my pleasure this night. And with that, yeah, I mean, first question, are you guys, I know a couple of you guys needed to usually go at like 11. Do you want to call it here before you get to the city? Or do you want to keep going and see where that goes?
I am getting a little sleepy.
Okay. Yeah, I would recommend stopping here, honestly, just because, once you get to the city, it's gonna, increase in pace. But, yeah. So if everyone's okay with that, it's probably a good stopping point before you go meet the Lord Oliver.
Yippee!
Well done.
Hell yeah.